Welcome to episode 85 of the Character Unlock podcast. I'm hosting this week. My name is Andrew Brooker, and joining me as always is my good buddy John. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm alright. For the first time in quite a few months, I am on the podcast ill.
You say first time in ages, but I remember when a time it was like you weren't ill.
What is it? I'm pretty sure I got like through most of November and December without getting a cold, or certainly without suffering when I was recording. But yeah, I caught a cold off of somebody at work, the bastard.
Punch him in the head.
Well, I would, but I kind of like him. And I'm suffering for it. And yeah, I'm not doing myself any favours by being so busy. I'm not getting a chance to sleep and recover. So I am suffering today, mate. But all is good. I have a giant cup of my super strong coffee. I am all good.
How strong and how coffee?
It is very strong coffee. Like, it's on the borderline between being too strong and actually just not tasting good. But it is actually really nice. But
Nice.
You can taste the caffeine in it.
That's amazing.
So yeah, mate, I'm all good.
Excellent.
What have you been up to? You been up to much?
A little bit of video gaming. As this is a video gaming podcast, I'll actually start with I was doing a bit of video gaming.
That's good. I wasn't.
Well, I mean, you've got good reasons to, and one definitely reason that I'm internally jealous of, but I couldn't throw the money together for love nor money at this part of the year to join you.
Oh, for my concerts.
Yeah.
You know what, mate? There is no way on earth, if I hadn't have bought those tickets, because the Slipknot tickets went on sale the day I got back from Fright Fest last year. So that was like the second to last day in August or something. Like payday, they went on sale. There's no way if they'd have gone on sale any later than that I'd have been able to afford it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I spent 2 days at Slipknot concerts, and I am fucking exhausted, and I lost my voice and went deaf and couldn't feel my legs. It was great.
It's like I'm still hoping that there's going to be loads of Knotfest tickets available on Friday when we get paid.
Well, I hope so, but at the same time, I hope they last a bit longer because I've got another Fright Fest to go to next month. I need to get through that before I can look at buying Knotfest tickets because I've got to buy at least 2. So
yeah, probably
at £100 a pop, it's a lot of fucking money.
Yes, it is. Yeah, well, luckily I only need to buy one if I'm buying.
I know quite a few people that are going, so it would be a shame to not go.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's the bowl.
Yeah.
Even if you don't pay to go, it's the fucking bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, I can throw a rock and I would probably hit the ball from here.
Yep. Yeah,
Strangely enough, the wind usually blows in the wrong direction. I almost never get any audio.
See, that sucks. Because I used to live literally the other side of the road from the bowl.
Yeah.
On Thurston Lake, and I used to be able to hear everything, which was great when it was a good band. Not so great when it was Robbie Williams or Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was who was there almost recently?
Oh my god, it's been a while since anyone's been there because everyone goes to the stadium now, don't they?
Oh, it might have actually been the stadium.
So Ramstein were at the stadium.
Yes, I heard
recently.
Ramstein.
I saw Ramstein, so I've moved obviously for people that don't know me because this is getting really fucking niche. So I've moved across the city away from Stadium MK. I could see the lights from the stadium when Ramstein were on.
Yeah.
It was fucking mental, and I am eternally jealous I didn't get to go.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I'd gotten tickets, even if I was in like one of the seated areas, like really fucking far away.
Yeah.
It's a concert that you kind of need to go to.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons to why I'm half looking at the prices for My Chemical Romance, because they're doing like 3 days in Milton Keynes.
Yeah. Haven't they sold out already?
Yeah, that's why they added 2 more in Milton Keynes. There's like sold out Milton Keynes like within minutes.
Yeah.
Did 2 more days and then they've sold out again.
Jesus. I mean, if I had to spare money, I would go because there's a few of their songs I don't mind, but I'm not laying out hundreds of pounds for three
No,
songs.
no, no. And it'd be the same as if like Fall Out Boy came here. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's all well and good, but I only like 5 of their songs total,
yeah.
and they were off their most recent 2 albums.
But this is why for me, like spending money on Slipknot tickets is a no-brainer because I like pretty much every single one of their songs.
I mean, it's like I've been to see Alter Bridge every time they've toured in the UK
Yeah,
since the Blackbird album
yeah. Well, why wouldn't you?
because it's like they are my number one band by a massive margin.
Yeah. So
And I'll be honest, it's really good to hear Metalingus once again being played on WWE.
yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. Really happy that Edge came back for the Rumble.
How did he do?
He got to the last 4. I mean, he was 21st entrant, but he
Okay.
got to the last 4.
Who won?
Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Yeah, he also eliminated Brock Lesnar. You should probably watch the Rumble.
Was it a good one?
Well, that's the thing, is that it was exactly what you'd expect it to be, with Brock Lesnar being the first entrant.
Oh, cool.
So it was literally is like the worst Rumble right up until the point where because they were just throwing just bodies at him. It was like no, everyone who you'd expect to never even remotely get close to winning a Rumble was coming out, just getting eliminated. And then they started putting out a couple of big guys, like they put 2 big guys out in a row,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, yeah, this looks like it's going to start making a change and making a difference. And it was still just Brock Lesnar eliminating everyone. He eliminated the first 13 competitors, just like almost on his own, pretty much.
Wow.
And then it just like completely flipped on its head and became a really good Rumble. And Drew McIntyre eliminated Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
which got the biggest cheer of the night. And it was literally that riding the wave from that point on, the whole way through, was that Drew McIntyre was eliminating everyone that you would want to see get eliminated.
Okay.
And then it fell down to him and Roman Reigns at the final 2. And obviously everyone was looking, oh shit, Roman Reigns is going to win. So the boos were starting to come out for Roman Reigns, which you haven't heard for a while. Because people were looking at it going, oh shit, they've just decided to give Roman Reigns another fucking Rumble win. They're going to have another main event at WrestleMania versus Brock Lesnar or something. And then literally is like Drew McIntyre throwing Roman Reigns out was brilliant. Huge cheers. And
Nice.
Drew McIntyre, this is his first ever world title opportunity in WWE.
He's been around a while, hasn't
Yeah. I mean, he did have a stint where he was like, doing the indie scene and went to Impact for a little while. And
he? Yeah.
he's beefed up a lot since his original days in wrestling,
Okay.
WWE. So yeah, but it was a good Rumble to watch. Just the Rumbles themselves. The rest of the card was a bit shit.
Nice. I might throw up a burner email or something, do a trial on the network, have a watch.
Yeah, definitely worth a bash. It's definitely not worth spending the 20 quid for BT Sport box
Oh,
office.
the pay-per-view in this country in general it's really starting to piss me off. I understand the pay-per-view model, but it's dying.
Yeah,
And when we spend, for me, it's less WWE and more UFC. I love watching UFC, but it
yeah,
costs 30 quid a month or something to have BT Sport, who are the channel that carry UFC in the UK,
yep,
which I'm not paying because they use that money to buy their football rights and their WWE rights and stuff that I don't really watch. But that's fine. But if I did pay my 30 quid, what I wouldn't then want to do is pay another 20 quid a couple of times a year for UFC pay-per-views.
yeah.
I'm just not doing it.
So if you spend, I originally, when I was just trialing like BT Sport for WWE stuff,
Yeah.
just to see what it was like. So I bought 25. You can buy a £25 online only BT Sport package.
Okay.
So it's literally the BT Sport apps on your phone, Xbox, Apple TV,
Wow.
and it comes full 4K as well.
Yeah.
So I was literally just like, well, I've got an Xbox, I've got a phone, it's got the app and the web player on my laptop, plus I've got an Apple TV.
Yeah.
I have no reason to spend the £30 plus to have it put onto my Skybox for HD when I've got all of the things that will give me 4K.
Yeah.
So I just paid the £25 for BT Sport for a month and then took a look at the all the deals and everything and decided to move to them for internet because it worked out being like almost £40 cheaper overall to move everything onto BT than to have everything that I currently have
Yeah.
separately, which is the first time in a while where I've actually managed to get a total package cheaper than splitting it.
Nice.
So I'm quite happy with having 4K BT Sport. The only downside is that the Raw and SmackDown episodes, the full episodes, for some reason don't go live on the Apple TV or on Xbox
Yeah.
um, very quickly. It's like the show finishes and it's almost available instantly on iPad and iPhone and, well, mobile devices.
Yeah.
Like a full replay of it with no adverts. And you can also select moments and it'll
Okay.
just like, so it's like, oh, press here and you've got this match or this match or this promos going on or here's an interesting thing you might want to watch by selecting this bit. So you can just skip big chunks of the fucking show that you don't
Yeah.
want to watch. But Raw takes almost an entire week to go onto the Apple TV.
Bloody
So,
hell.
so SmackDown is like kind of I throw it up and I usually can't watch it until usually the Sunday.
Oh
I mean,
shit.
it's fine because they've got primetime replays the following day.
Yeah.
But because they're primetime replays, if they do any kind of like weapon stuff, you just like the old classic watching on Channel 4 Sunday Night Heat
Yeah.
just shows the crowd whenever a chair shot happens.
Bloody hell. No, not
So,
for me.
but yeah, like I said, the BT Sport, the primetime replay, so it's like 6 p.m. on a Tuesday night
Yeah.
for Raw and 7 p.m. on a Saturday night for SmackDown. Just to watch live. The only thing that the TV app or other just well apps in general have is that you don't have the option to record stuff to watch later. So you kind of just have to hope that they've got the full replay of it available, which for BT, they tend to have full replays of everything they put on TV almost immediately.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'll be honest, I've not taken a look at the fucking stuff for I haven't really taken a look at the stuff for UFC on it yet, but I
Yeah.
probably will. So, yeah, worth investigating if it's
Yeah.
to save even a small amount of money,
Yeah. I might have a butcher's. We shall
especially
see.
when you've got well all of the things that I do to put it on.
Yeah. Yeah. I might have a look.
I think they've got a native app for my brand of TVs as well, Samsung's.
Nice.
So yeah, native app on Samsung, Xbox, laptop, Apple TV.
Yeah.
You've got iPhones and iPads.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Something to look at.
Why waste money putting it through your Skybox just to get it in HD?
True enough.
Just imagine the amount of sweat you could see coming off of Conor McGregor.
No, I'm good.
Oh wait, you wouldn't be able to watch him because he never does pay-per-views.
Exactly. Anyways, should we talk about some games?
Yeah, why not?
So I went looking this morning and yesterday for news for games. There is nothing going on, really.
And why would there be? It's
Because it's
January.
fucking January. But the one bit that did appear was the Uncharted movie. So the Uncharted movie has lost yet another director. That happened beginning of January, I think.
Yeah.
So it lost. Hold on, because I went looking for the names of these fucking people to make sure that I had all the names right, and I've just fucking gone off the page. Anyways, so it just lost. Travis Knight was the last director to walk off. So he made Bumblebee last year or the year before.
Not a terrible film.
I loved Bumblebee. I thought it was great. He followed Dan Trachtenberg, who made 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Another good film.
Another excellent film. I was very impressed. And there were a bunch of others. Sean Levy, he made the Night at the Museum films, a bunch of Stranger Things, episodes, and this year has that new Free Guy coming out with Ryan Reynolds, which basically looks like Saints Row the movie.
Excellent.
Or what would happen if someone accidentally fell into a Saints Row game, the movie. So the Uncharted movie has now officially been pushed back to, I think, March or May 2021. Which, at this point, I think we just need to call it quits and not make the Uncharted movie.
Is there even a cast for it?
Mark Wahlberg?
I mean, it's not like he's busy doing other things.
No, not really. Pretty sure Mark Wahlberg is attached to it. I think that's it. But he'll be playing Sully, so not... Oh, wasn't Tom Holland going to play Nathan Drake?
Isn't Tom Holland a bit young to be Nathan Drake?
He could play young Nathan Drake. Don't know. I don't know how old he is. But if Mark Wahlberg's playing Sully, who is an old man, then maybe everybody's a bit younger.
I suppose they did have what's her name? Alicia Vikander playing Lara Croft recently, so
I was okay with that.
well, obviously, she is hot.
I love that woman. Like, actually love that woman.
Like wow, yeah.
Yeah, March 2021. It's been put back now. Sorry, to the 5th of March 2021. Apparently, Ruben Fleischer is being tapped to make it now. He made the 2 Zombieland films and Venom.
One of those films isn't as good as the others.
I loved all 3.
Yes, I liked the first Zombieland, and I loved Venom.
Do you not like Zombieland 2?
I
was
felt like
great.
I felt like it was a bit too late.
Oh, it was definitely that. 100%. It shouldn't have been that long. Like, I shouldn't have got my 10-year anniversary Blu-ray the week before the second film came out.
Well, yes.
But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was great. What actually annoyed me about Zombieland 2 was it was advertised as from the director of Venom. I thought, but he made Zombieland.
He's the director, but what?
But
it's from the director of the film that came before this one.
Yeah. You don't need to do that. I mean, any marketing dickhead worth their salt would know that putting Venom on the front of anything is going to turn people off, because most people really didn't like it.
Maybe they put it on there because people then watch it and go, "Oh, hang on a second, I actually quite liked this film, so maybe Venom's a good film."
But this is a legitimate pet peeve of mine. I fucking hate it when people do that. I really hate it. Like, from the director of Venom, fuck off. It's from the director of the first Zombieland. It's Zombieland 2. Stop being a cunt.
I hate it when it says from the producers of and then picks a film. It's like, well, that's because producers produce many films, and a lot of them are bad.
Yeah, see, I have an issue with that because most people don't know what a fucking producer does.
It's like a producer literally is just there to put his name to a film, more or less.
And find money.
Yeah.
Find money and stuff. And that's fine. That's their job, and they're good at it. People get famous doing it. But so the big ones, and I don't always fall into it. This is turning into a fucking film rant. I love it.
Yep, film podcast. Let's do one.
So, what was it recently? Oh, the Rhythm section comes out on Friday. The action thriller thing with Blake Lively is being advertised as from the producers of James Bond. That is the most unfair fucking watermark you can put up against any film. I don't really care that much about Bond, but that instantly puts some pretty high expectations on that movie, which looks kind of fun, but it does not look Bond level quality, which is really
from
sad.
the producers of James Bond. Any specific James Bond or all of them?
All of them. The company that makes, or the producers behind Bond have been doing Bond since it began.
Exactly. Literally from the producers of a film franchise that is unnecessarily long and has many installments.
But the thing is, I think
not all of them good.
Yeah, I think certain producers have the public, like general mainstream awareness to be used. So from the producer of, I don't know, Armageddon, it's Jerry Bruckheimer. Most people could figure out a Jerry Bruckheimer movie, I reckon. But
Okay.
yeah, it bugs me.
I'm trying to think. There are others where it comes up with from the and then something stupid. It's not just the producers.
It's always producer or director, always.
Or the studio that brought you.
Oh yeah, the studio is just fucking daft.
It's like, well, of course the studio brought me these other films. It's not like this is their first ever film. It's a fucking film studio.
What's the one that done
Of
that?
course they're going to have loads.
Is it Mobius?
I think so.
Morbius? Whatever his name is, the vampire thing with Jared Leto.
Yeah.
The trailer says, from the studio that brought you Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home and Venom. Thanks ever so much for that.
Thanks for letting me know that this film from the Marvel Universe also came from a studio that made other Marvel films.
I also think it's pretty disingenuous because as much as, I think Marvel were saturating movies, Sony only co-made those two Spider-Man films. They were fucking Marvel movies, and you can tell they were Marvel movies.
Well, Sony co-made them because money.
Well, Sony own the rights to Spider-Man.
Exactly.
So Marvel needed to strike up a deal to keep that going, and that's fine. But to say that we're the studio that brought that to you, you're like, fuck off, mate.
So, no, actually, you're the studio that brought us Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, and The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes. But I'll be honest, I don't care. That Mobius, whatever his name is, actually looks like kind of fun.
Yeah,
But
kind of like a pseudo-vampire in New York.
yeah, bring it on, man.
But that's exactly the character he is.
Yeah. If you want to talk about Spider-Man, one of the worst ones, and I hated it, and I know why it was done, but I still hated it, and I hate that it's on my Blu-ray cover. I hate that it's everywhere you look at this film. Drag Me to Hell is an amazing, amazing horror movie. It was posted everywhere as from the director of Spider-Man. I was like, fuck you. It's a Sam Raimi movie. It's from the director of the fucking Evil Dead.
From the director of a film that's not a horror film, when he has actually directed horror films.
Yes. That one really irked me, and still irks me to this day, like 15 years later.
I can tell.
10 years later. Anyway, that's that tangent done. I literally have no other news to talk about.
That's why we ended up talking about films for too long.
Well, yeah, but I mean, unless you care about cosmetic items being bought with XP and not microtransactions in the new Doom game.
So that's how games used to do it.
Yes.
Before microtransactions became a thing.
Yes, so the news is video games go back to being video games and not fucking cash grabs. Well done.
So, congratulations, your video game will now allow you to earn the ability to have things in your video game.
Yeah.
Instead of you just buying them all.
So, yeah, unless you know of anything else you want to talk about game news-wise?
No. No, I do not. There is fuck all other news, as far as I'm aware.
Fair enough. Right, we can move on to talk about games then, and what we've been playing. John, mate, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a combination of things, but I haven't finished fucking any of them, because there's just no end, apparently, to any of them.
Is one of them Football Manager?
Yes.
Well,
that's just a given, that one of them will always be Football Manager.
I think my next challenge is I'm not going to play Hitman until we get to an episode where you don't talk about Football Manager.
I don't have to talk about Football Manager. You brought it up. I wasn't going to mention it.
Okay, then, until we get to a week where you haven't played Football Manager.
That's not happening. Even on... It's like weeks where I don't have access to my Xbox, I have my laptop for Football Manager.
Yeah.
Let's start with... I briefly played Ashes Cricket.
Why?
Because the England were playing South Africa in cricket, and it was getting me in the mood for some cricket, so I decided to play a cricket game.
Okay.
Literally just played a couple of matches and then turned it off after I got my fill. What else? I tried Rugby 20.
Why?
because Boomerang sent it to me.
Fair enough.
Don't play Rugby 20.
I've had no intention of playing Rugby 20. I am a little bit in awe of the fact that you just add fucking everything to your Boomerang list, let it turn up, play it for 10 minutes, and then post it back.
Oh, it's kind of what it's for, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I genuinely think it's great, but I kind of have to look at my list and go, well, why would I have that sent to me? Because it's just going to sit under my TV until I decide I can't be bothered to play it and send it back. It won't even get installed. You know?
Yeah, that's the only real difference is that I have that kind of spare time where a game will come to me from Boomerang. I'll throw it in my disk tray, get it installed. I also have those hard drives in size that I can just throw everything onto it and just delete it at some point in the distant future if I need to.
Yeah.
Very rarely. But and then just throw it on for a short amount of time while something's happening, like in the background, where I don't need to give everything my full attention. Like if I don't need to give Football Manager my full attention, I can just play it. Or if I've got none of my friends online, I'm just waiting. So I'll give Rugby 20 a quick stint. From what I could gather from playing it, the menu, at the very least at the start, doesn't seem to offer a career mode.
Okay. So it's just constant quick play.
It does. I mean, it looks there's like a championship mode, and you can pick teams to play as, and it seems like it's a quick play, but there's just you pick a team and then you only play as them for like what would be a season, but there doesn't really seem to be like a career mode to it in that you can't. I don't think you can create a player. There's a big apparent online presence to it because there's loads of fucking online tabs.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be any kind of like tutorial to it either. So I was literally learning the buttons as I was playing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to make tackles, didn't know how to pass the ball. I'm guessing that they're just kind of half expecting people to come into this having played previous rugby games.
I mean, there might be some of that to it, but I would still call it terrible design if that was the case and there was no tutorial anywhere, because, you know, everybody's got their first FIFA, their first Madden, Can you imagine picking up Madden and not knowing the controls, and then the game just expecting you to know them?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking mental.
And I get somewhat infuriated when I pick up a game like FIFA. I've played so many times before, or Pokemon at that as well, when it comes up and teaches you how to catch a Pokemon for the first time in every single one of those games. Okay, I get it, but maybe they should probably offer the option to skip it, but not get rid of it.
Yes. Do you remember? Oh, you might not remember because you don't play them. But the first couple of Gears games, it was at least Gears 1 and 2, used to give you the option to skip what would be the tutorial mission. And it was great. So, like the first time you play it, you play the tutorial mission, and nothing happens. You shoot a few guys, and you do some roadie running and a couple of jumps and shit like that. And that's it. You get to the end of it, and the story starts. But if you then want to play through it again, you just, instead of going left to do the tutorial mission, you go right and go and start the game, and it's great.
Yeah.
More games should do that.
I quite like some games when it comes to it. I think Halo does it, where, definitely in Halo 3, your opening part of the game has you drop out of space and hit the ground really hard, so your armor locks.
Yeah.
And then, in order to give you a brief tutorial of the controls, what it does is it goes, so your armor locked up, so now we need to get you to check to make sure that you can look up and down, left and right.
Yeah.
With the thumbstick, just kind of get you used to it, and then asks you if you want to invert the controls.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So that little things like that, you can be inventive about it, but to put you into a game without really having any kind of tutorial or any obvious way of learning the controls.
Yeah.
I ended up losing the first match very, very decisively.
Okay.
I didn't even get out of my own half. Every possible opportunity I had where the ball was coming towards me, the computers didn't even need to pass. They were just running through my fucking team because I didn't know how to make fucking tackles or do anything. So I kind of just pulled it out of my disk tray, put it back in its box, and I've since posted it back.
Yeah.
My copy of Kakarot stopped working.
Oh shit.
On the rental version. Literally, it's like I got home from work, went to put it on, and it came up with the message saying that do you own this game? I was like, yes. Well, it's on a disc, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. Tried restarting it. No, nothing happened. So I was like, okay, uninstall it. Pull the disc out. Try and reinstall it again. I was like, and then I put a different disc in just to make sure that my disc tray was fine. I
Yeah.
was like, disc tray's fine. It read another game, perfectly fine. That's how I ended up installing Rugby 20, to be fair. Pulled Kakarot back out again, or rather put it back in the disc tray, and then it came up saying that can't read the disc. Check to make sure there's no scratches and clean it with a microfiber cloth or whatever. I was like, oh, this is a bit weird.
Yeah.
I gave it a quick wipe down. There's one for Lee. Uh, Put the disc back in, and still same problem. So I was like, oh shit. Message boomerang. I was like, yeah, we'll send you another one out. Send us this one back. We'll put a check against it.
Yeah.
And then the new copy arrived the day after, which was actually really fast service,
Yeah.
to be fair. Ended up playing it for a bit longer and decided to buy it.
Nice.
So yeah, I bought Kakarot, and I am just about to take part in the Cell games, which anyone who knows Dragon Ball Z knows that this what the Cell games are. It's
They're like the Hunger Games.
yes, no. The Cell game, the Cell saga is probably one of the most iconic sagas in Dragon Ball Z. Just like overall, like the
Okay.
Android Cell saga is like yeah, it's probably the most iconic because it's where the Super Saiyan kind of becomes a thing. So the Super Saiyans in the Frieza saga is just Goku, and it's right at the end for the final fight.
Yeah.
So the Cell saga is this is where Super Saiyans are actually a big thing, and they're like all over the place. It's like all of the Saiyans can turn into Super Saiyans at this point. There's time travel involved, and some really good fights in this saga, and some other characters who took massive um, steps back in previous sagas who were
Yeah.
in the previous Dragon Ball before Z. It was like they've come back in a big way in the Cell saga as if they're actually a proper character again, rather than previous sagas where they were just kind of like, well, we can't have them be strong, so we're just gonna like put them away somewhere in a box and just ignore that they even existed. So yeah, the Cell saga is really good, and the final fight to the Cell saga is what we played at EGX.
Okay. Yeah.
So that last fight is the last part of the Cell saga. So you'd have seen that bit at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I saw you and Lee playing it. I don't understand a thing that was going on the screen, but I saw you playing it.
But I really enjoyed Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. If you are a fan of Dragon Ball Z, you're not obviously Brooks. Then it's a really good game. It does quite well to the story that's going along. Obviously, there are some changes to the story, just because otherwise you wouldn't really be able to have a game out of certain parts of it, and it'd be a bit boring to skip forward big chunks of the game because of the fact that nothing happens over the course of a couple of years occasionally.
Yeah.
Where it's like characters decide to get a bit older while they wait for certain things to happen, or there's like there's the couple of episodes where they travel to another planet. It's like well you can't really have a big chunk of the game disappear, so you just like skip sections out, make other bits a bit elongated, have a couple of extra fights.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this Dragon Ball game is probably my favorite one because when it's come down to it, most Dragon Ball games, and to be fair, Jump Force, when that one came around, did the same thing, where they've got like a hub world, and you have to walk around everywhere in order to
Yeah.
pick new missions, and you walk through a gate door, do a mission, come back out, walk around the hub world, buy your stuff, do a load of checks of things, like loads of talking to people. You kind of get bored walking around.
Yeah.
This one is open world to the Dragon Ball Z Earth. So you fly around the areas that you have. You have to quick travel between the areas, so it's not completely open world.
Yeah.
So it's like little map sections for areas that are well, I say they are iconic to the Dragon Ball Z universe. So people know these places because things happen there in the TV show and
Yeah.
in the mangas. So it's there. You go there. you see the stuff that's there, and you just like basically mess around. There's fishing involved, random fights with people as you're flying around because random enemies just sort of appear, see
Yeah.
you, come and attack you. You can get one-hit kills, and there's an achievement for getting a one-hit kill on an enemy by just flying straight through them. So if you do a boost flight, if an enemy's low enough level to you, you just fly straight through them and they die instantly. And there's an achievement for getting one.
Yeah.
There might be an achievement for getting 50 as well, because I remember an achievement popping, but it might have been for me leveling up. I can't remember. So most of my characters are pretty highly leveled.
Yeah.
Between sagas, there is an intermission section where it's literally like free roam as much as you want to do whatever you want. Collect the Dragon Balls if you want, make wishes with them. You know, extra sub-stories and things. Yeah. Overall, it's a really fun game to play. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, it's definitely worth picking up. The combat in it is easy. It's literally, if you want to do a melee attack, it's B. If you want to do a key blast, it's X.
Yeah.
Boost and teleport is A. And block is the left trigger. And the left bumper is to do special moves. Yep.
Okay.
So you hold down the left bumper and press one of A, B, X, or Y, and you do one of 4 special attacks and things. And the fights are pretty fun, especially with certain characters, because when you go up against certain characters in fights, especially if you can pick those characters to refight again for training sessions and things.
Yeah.
When you get them down to certain health, they go completely apeshit and just start fucking you up. Because that's in their nature, is that they get really angry at the fact that they're losing. So then they just start going full on motherfucker with just doing constant special attacks and just literally filling the screen with pain.
Nice.
Because that's the kind of way that they are.
Love it.
Yep. What else? Played FIFA, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. That's me. I think game-wise, I will try and think if I did anything else. Pretty sure I have. Really wish I'd finished Kakarot, but just time didn't allow it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't finished the Cell Saga for one, and I think there's another saga after that, the Boo Saga. So.
Okay.
Boo is spelled B-U-U.
Of course it is. I don't know what else to say to that. Shall I talk about my game?
Yes. How was the game that you played for all of 3 hours? Because that's all the time you actually had.
It was great. So, but the thing is, it's not that I've got no time. I was really busy. Like, concerts and shit aside, I've been insanely busy the last couple of weeks. Work's been a fucking nightmare. Just stuff going on. I haven't had time to play. Started playing the game and really got into it, and then ran out and literally didn't have time to put my Xbox on to play it again. So, but what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to come onto the podcast again and just go, well, I played this for half an hour and gave up.
And then talk about Hitman.
I haven't played Hitman for ages. But that's what I mean. I've been too fucking busy. And to be fair, I have actually found a game that I want to play and complete. Not go, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. I'd rather go and play Hitman. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. But what I want to do is I wanted to have a game played and finished. If we have 2 weeks between recordings, I should be able to finish a game in that 2 weeks. Something to talk about. Obviously this time around I didn't. So I was like, oh fuck, what am I going to do? And I looked at my Xbox, and brilliantly I had a game on there from 2 years ago when I challenged myself to finish a game every 2 weeks, one for each new episode of the podcast. I bought it, I spent actual money on this game, installed it, and then just fucking left it there.
Yeah.
Never played it.
That challenge went badly.
The challenge went alright. I completed my challenge pretty quick. I needed to finish 26 games in that year, and I finished closer to 40. I was quite happy with myself.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't do them every 2 weeks.
No.
It's like you smashed a lot of them out in the very early stages because you knew you couldn't do it the whole year.
Well, yeah, this is true. So I played
And
what
one of
rem
them was the X-Files game.
it was, yeah. It was terrible. So I played What Remains of Edith Finch. Now, What Remains of Edith Finch is a walking simulator. Another walking simulator.
You do love them.
Well, they're good. The thing what I like about the walking simulators, and there's been a few that are very atmospheric, and because there's no running around or shooting, it kind of reminds you of the quieter sections of like horror games. So on more than one occasion, in more than one of these games, I've walked into a room and gone, something's gonna fucking jump out of me, and it's put me on the edge of my seat, but nothing's happened. It's fucking bizarre. So yeah, so I played What Remains of Edith Finch, which is from 2017, I think. Made by Giant Sparrow Games, guys that made Unfinished Swan for the PlayStation, which is the thing where you splat paint like a bad Bukkake video.
Wow.
Yeah. Was quite
Is
good
there
actually.
such a thing as a bad Bukkake video?
I don't know. I'm no expert. Are you?
No, I'm not an expert, but Lee might be.
Uh, so this game, like I say, it's a walking simulator. In first person view, you basically are walking around the Finch family home as you read through Edith Finch's journal, and Edith narrates to you the stories of what happened in that house. You then you explore the house, find your way into different rooms, and in each room you find like a shrine to a family member that has fallen prey to the Finch family curse, where they all
Ooh.
die in weird and wonderful ways.
Ooh.
Yes, I know a couple of them are a bit, let's say, plain, but there are quite a few strange deaths attributed to the Finch family, and you get to replay all of their stories. I think there are 11 stories in total, and like it starts off quite fun. You know, there's an interesting story there, and you do get into kind of unpicking it. You do kind of get into it, and then some of the stories get really, really unexpectedly fucking dark.
Well, I'd half expect it.
Well, the thing is, I expected weird things to happen. Uh, I'll be honest, I'm scared to say it and ruin it for somebody that hasn't played it. But there are a couple of the deaths that you have to play, and you go into each room, each shrine, if you like, and you find a little book or bit of paper or something that triggers the story, and then you kind of fall into it, and you start playing as the character that dies. So you get, one kid who dies, let's say, falling off of a swing.
Makes sense.
And by the point you get to his story, you know what's going to happen. You know that everybody's dying in these stories, and you know that you're going to be playing it out. And as this little story, and they're only a few minutes each, most of these stories. And as this one particular story progresses, you sit there watching it going, oh God, don't do this. Don't fucking do this. Oh my God, don't do this. This is fucking horror. And then it happens, you're like, Jesus Christ. And there are some, like I say, genuinely terrifyingly dark moments in this game that I didn't completely expect. But I think what made it worse was, like, a couple of them seemed like really fun little segments, and then all of a sudden the thing happens. Fucking hell. Maya was watching me play one of them, And even she was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you playing? Oh, excuse me. But so kind of, it's almost like an anthology. So each story is different. It plays out different. There's one that plays out through boards on a comic book. But yeah, as the stories are kind of read out to you, that they're really interesting, and you want to walk around and you want to unpick all the stories. I think it took me 3 hours to finish. Not only finish, it took me 3 hours to get all 1000 G in the game. So, I mean, it's only like 10 achievements, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah.
Don't sell yourself short, Brooks.
If I can do it in 3 hours, mate, it ain't that big a deal. But it's a really good experience. I think that's a better word than walking. Walking simulator does make it sound a bit shit, but it is
walking experience.
It's a story experience. It's not quite a visual novel because you have to do stuff, but there's a story to tell, and it's told very, very well. And I picked up and went, you know what? I'm going to finally play this fucking game because I know I can do it I know if I run through, I can finish it in about an hour. So I'll get it finished and I can sit and talk about it for a bit. And I unexpectedly found one of the best stories I've played in quite a while. It really, really surprised me. I was riveted. I finished the game, had the majority of the achievements, so I went back to see what ones I was missing and had like 2 that I specifically had to do something special for. No, I lie. I had to replay one story for a trophy, and I had to go back into the game and play a story that I'd missed, which apparently a lot of people miss. So I didn't feel bad about that at all.
Yeah, all right.
But it was a really good story, and I highly recommend it to everyone. But yeah, for 3 hours of your time, you'll waste 3 hours watching worse stories.
I feel like it was on Game Pass or Gold at
It
some
is
point.
on Game Pass.
Yes.
Funnily enough, it's my recommendation for this episode is What Remains of Edith Finch is on Game Pass.
Excellent.
And if you have Game Pass, you have no excuse not to play it. Go and play What Remains of Edith Finch. And yeah, like I say, one sitting, you're done. Piece of cake.
Sounds great.
I don't know what I do next. I might play Tacoma. Tacoma's on Game Pass. I kind of fancy it. I do like a good walking simulator.
You are good at them.
Well, I like stories. And this has always been my thing. Yeah, I like playing games with other people, but I like stories. And a walking simulator, it's a story that I've installed to my Xbox. I still haven't played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which I want to play. And I've heard many good things about. So, maybe one day.
Maybe.
But that's literally all I've played. I will not talk about the other game I've been playing until I finish the bastard. And I will finish the bastard because every time I put it on, I'm re-addicted.
Can you finish Hitman?
No, I'm not playing Hitman at the moment. Hitman will be finished if and when I ever get around to doing all the trophies, which I probably won't ever do.
It's alright, because on the next generation of console, so the end of this year, you'll get Hitman 3 with Hitman 1 and 2 remasters again.
No. Just no. Mate, I fucking love Hitman. But I've put myself through hell chasing trophies in that game. I'm not fucking doing it again. I will just play Hitman 3, and that will be it. Yeah. That's me.
Cool.
Have you figured out whether or not you played anything else?
Yes, I played that horror game that I like.
Oh yeah, you did.
And I'm still really enjoying it, to the point where I've actually looked through the achievements and I'm actually contemplating working out whether or not I can get the rest of them. Because one of them is going to take a lot of time and effort.
Yeah?
Yeah, obviously it's like the collectible type achievement.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that one I mean, I've only got like I think 3 paintings left total. One white, one black on the middle one that you need to do on curator mode.
Yeah.
But in order to get it on curator mode, you need to actually have do a couple of things right in the first instance,
Yeah.
which is surprisingly difficult when you don't realize what it is that you need to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Because in order to get one of the paintings, you need to have both Fliss and Brad at a point where you are chasing down Conrad. And having Brad at that point is surprisingly difficult because he's a little sissy girl and runs away.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, see, at that point, because you've played through it now, what, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
at that point,
I kind of know what I need to do for certain areas in order to do things.
but it's also okay at that point to start looking at trophy guides, I think, to go, I need to do this. And specific,
Yeah.
find yourself a walkthrough that you can do step by step.
Yeah. So there's one character achievement I've got left. I need to unlock one of Feliss's traits.
Yeah.
Then it's just collectibles and doing 2 endings specifically, which I need to go out of my way to get.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised I haven't actually managed to do. The weird thing is that I'm surprised I didn't manage to get the keep everyone alive earlier than I did. But at the same time, I'm also not surprised
Yeah.
because
Well, when you and I played, we lost a couple, didn't we?
yeah, we lost 2. One was because bullshit, and the
Yeah.
other one was because you made a decision that probably you shouldn't have done.
Yeah. But
I think you chose that decision based entirely on you didn't know what it would do.
well, the kind of The
It's
thing
like,
is,
I've never done this bit before. Let's fucking choose this option.
yeah,
And
why
then
not?
get shot.
Why not? It's worth a try. You never know.
Well, it's I mean, because I'm kind of playing with Josh because
Yeah.
he wanted something to play, and I was like, fuck it, download this. We'll give it a bash.
Yeah.
We got as far as getting on the Medan
Yeah.
when we stopped because it was decided to move on to something else because we'd been playing it for a little while at that point, obviously,
Yeah.
and we'd had Conrad get killed by then.
Bloody hell. Jesus. Yeah.
But it was only because I hadn't fucked up at one point.
Yeah.
It was like literally, it was like I was expecting to fuck up something,
Yeah.
hadn't fucked up, and then ended up fucking up somewhere else, which ended up getting him killed.
Yeah.
So I was honestly surprised that you could get someone killed at that point because I didn't think that I'd seen. No, you do see the curator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just sort of thinking to myself, I was like, I don't recall seeing the curator at this point, and now I'm just thinking back, and he's definitely standing there
Yeah.
in the on the Duke of Milan.
So this is because the curator appears somewhere in the background, like fucking Tyler Durden.
Yeah,
If you're about to make a decision that could properly affect the game, or have someone die.
yeah. So he always shows up when the big decision or a big action requires to happen, and usually the action is don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's like, if you fuck up at some point, someone might die.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, considering when it is, and when we played together who got shot, I was surprised that after seeing the curator at that point, I wasn't now thinking about it. I'm surprised that she doesn't die,
Yeah.
considering she gets fucking shot.
Yeah.
Only for me to make one mistake in the entirety of that bit,
Yeah.
and it was the one vital mistake for him to get shot. If I had fucked up literally any of the other ones, he wouldn't have gotten shot, and he'd have been with me on the Orang Medan.
Yeah.
But I made one mistake at the exact wrong time, and he gets shot instead. So fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Talk about bad luck, or just
yes.
it's like, holy shit! I've managed to complete a fucking heartbeat, keep calm section, and manage to get 4 quick time events right in a row, and then fuck up the 5th one.
Yep. Sounds about
Brilliant. Like, wow, didn't realize that was a thing.
Now, if these guys could get on and fucking announce the release date for the next Dark Pictures game, I'll be a happy, happy man.
You mean 2020 isn't good enough for you?
No, it's not.
Pretty sure it's spring 2020, isn't it?
Nah, surely we'd know a proper release date by now if that was the case.
I kind of feel like, because I'm kind of half guessing that it's literally going to be, they will change Little Hope's trailer in Man of Medan and be like, oh, by the way, March 2020, or
Yeah,
something stupid.
I would guess it probably arrives in the summer, same as the first one did.
Yeah.
We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, are we all done, do you reckon then?
I think so.
Cool. So I've done my recommendation. What Remains of Edith Finch, for those that have forgotten. It's on Game Pass. Go and play it. Take 3 hours. How about you, Matt? Have you got a recommendation?
I'm going to not recommend anything to anyone because
Because you played rugby and cricket.
Yes, because I literally can't recommend things to people right now.
Fair enough. Is it like a syndrome you have, or just an illness?
Yes.
Fair enough. Maybe that's time for us to call it a day then, buddy.
Maybe so.
So, until next time, mate. Where can people find you?
I can be found on Twitter as the John_CU and on Xbox Live as Long Dong Silver.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at Brooker411, and that's it. And as a team, as a group, as a podcast, you can find us at Character Unlock on all of your favourite social media thingamajiggies. So, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all them things. YouTube, if you feel the need. I don't put anything on YouTube for this account anymore because it got too much work. But depending on what the gameplay looks like, I might record some for when we play Remnant with Lee in February. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But yeah. So, I suppose until next week, hopefully, or next week, next episode, hopefully we'll have, I'll have more than a 3-hour walking simulator game to talk about then. I have several days off between now and then, so maybe I'll get the game I'm playing finished. Yeah, that's it from us, I think. So, time to say goodnight. Say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.
Good night, John.